to another episode. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of I Tried Crypto. My name is Andrew. Crypto noob here. Really just kind of learning as I go and just kind of documenting and sharing with you all what I learned, and maybe I can provide tips to someone else as well. In this episode, I'm actually going to go over a basic build, building a crypto rig for less than $1,000. This build is going to be for all new parts. So this isn't something that you're going to be having to like scrunch around, maybe haggling with people, or picking up something used that you don't know anything about, or you don't even know if it's going to work. All these things, I'll include a build list, are readily available on Amazon. We're actually going to walk through that live as far as recording. These are current prices that I could buy these items for right now. If you look off to my shoulder, I do have all these same items. So I'm giving you, or almost all these same items, I'm giving you again live information with the current market. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. This entire build cost is going to run you pre-tax right at $950, maybe just a hair underneath it. You can interchange some of these parts, and I'll include kind of some suggested parts too in that parts list in case maybe these parts aren't available when you go to purchase, or maybe you have some of the parts, or you're looking around, or you're shopping for a deal. I would highly recommend that you kind of watch prices too, because I can tell you that just in the last 2 weeks of me accumulating these parts and watching prices, I've seen them go drastically up and drastically down from day to day. So first part off the bat, really one of your main components is going to be your motherboard. This motherboard here actually will give you 3 PCIe slots. If you end up expanding this rig down the road, you can actually use more than those 3 PCIe slots by getting an adapter, which are like $25 on Amazon. I'll include that link as well in case you follow along and you get further down. Basically, once you get it, I mean, you get this motherboard. It can take any of these processors here, the AM4 size. I personally recommend going with this processor here. If you want to spend more, absolutely go more. I have one right now that's an AMD, I believe it's a Ryzen 7 or a Ryzen 9. It's a 24-thread processor. I'm loving it, but I also paid double the price in order to mine with it and do other things with it. But I do recommend this processor here because it gives you integrated graphics. And if you've never built a rig before, or if you've never built a computer, this is what I would recommend, because you're going to be able to see things live instantly. You can troubleshoot a little bit easier. If you're a little bit more handy or a little bit more technical, then you can even forego this integrated graphics and maybe find a better processor, as far as maybe more threads, more cores to be able to mine with it. I specifically chose this because this is ultimately going to be a test rig for me, but you could literally take this same test rig and build it out to be a full GPU rig. I'm doing that with the same or similar motherboard. Right now I've got 2 cards on it. I'm about to add 2 more, and I'll keep expanding it as I go. As far as memory goes, I mean, you can look at the motherboard. You can literally find out exactly from the manufacturer what memory you need. This memory that I'm actually going to be using is going to be this Oli. I'm actually picking this because it gives me some red, green, blue colors. Kind of wanted a little bit of color. I didn't get a Heath Prism color with AMD that has some colors. It's going to be a little bit plain, and I wanted to have something with it as well. As far as hard drive, I went with the Inland 128 gigabyte. If you're not sure that you want to stay into mining, or maybe you have a USB drive running around or hanging around, you can easily install this on a USB drive. I ran my first rig for a week, or my second rig for a week on a USB drive without any issues before moving to an SSD. Again, I'm including an SSD on mine in case you're looking at long-term or you are planning for more. You would be fully set up with this. Personally, I don't like running USB drives because they get really hot, and I feel that at some point you're going to burn them out. They're cheap. You burn them out, you're not wasting anything. It's not like you're out of something per se. As far as Ethernet goes, right now I'm not making my own Ethernet cables. I know most people probably also aren't. And I suspect if you're watching this video, you're probably not making your own Ethernet cables either. If you have an extra Ethernet cable laying around, use it. You don't necessarily need to buy one. I'm buying one just because I don't have one laying around. I've actually kind of got rid of a bunch of stuff before I got into crypto, threw away tons of cables that I could have used, and so now I'm kind of rebuying things that I need as I need them. I've been using 2 of these cables. This will be the 3rd cable from this exact link. Never have had an issue. I do like that it's a little bit faster. It's black. I don't like the yellow or the grays. I like a kind of a uniform appearance. So again, I'm including this cable. You don't need this cable. If you've got another Ethernet cable, it's probably going to be more than sufficient. Usually, if your internet service provider gives you a router or a modem, they're going to give you a cable or 2. And if you have that laying around, use it. Cut cost. Also, with this build rig, I'm including in the price the GPU. I'm specifically going with an Asus GeForce 1660 Super. I can get very similar mega hashes on that card for Ethereum, for I believe Ethereum Classic, you name it. It's pretty much in line with an AMD 6600 or 66XT. There's not much difference between those for the price. If you end up getting a graphics card cheaper, again, if you're looking at a 6 gig or anything above that, you should be able to mine with that without an issue. I actually picked up my graphics card from Newegg. I actually got it with a special with the power supply, and I ended up getting it for $379, and I saw it today also on Newegg for $379 today plus $10 shipping. So you can still cut costs. You don't have to buy these items from Amazon, but I'm putting it on here for convenience for you. As far as a case goes, that's the only thing that I'm going to be showing you in this video that I'm not using. This is a very low-end budget case. If you're not certain that maybe you want to mine, or maybe you want to kind of play around with it and you don't know that you're into this long term, this would be a case that you could start off with. If you have another case, or if you just want to run it off a box, people do it all the time. You can look it up on YouTube. People do it. Literally, if you're running this specific case, you're basically going to have your GPU just sitting here, like this reviewer has here, on your first GPU. Now, if you decide that this is something for you and you want to expand it out, you can add risers. That's what those other PCIe slots would be used for. And ultimately, you can fill this case up. This case specifically can hold up to 8. I've got one rack right now with 7. I'm about to fill it up. I've already got my second rack being built with 2 already, and I've got a third empty rack that's ultimately going to be for my third build as I go along. If you know that maybe GPU mining is something you want to do long term, the case that I would recommend, or the frame, would be this one here, only because they're stackable. I've got 2 that are stacked right now. It's very convenient. I don't have to worry about them sliding off. I don't got to find space from somewhere on a dresser or anything like that. They literally stack and they go, and that has been super, super, super helpful for me. The other item I wanted to go over too is the power supply. Now, this power supply that I'm actually using is it's a little bit overkill for an entry-level rig. I think that long-term I would end up using this, and I do intend to use it. I got this because I got it on a deal. If you didn't have it or you didn't get it on a deal, not a big issue. This one's a very beefy power supply at 650 watts. You can easily buy a lower power supply and save quite a bit of money. I mean, you can spend $40, $50 on a power supply and learn how to mine crypto without spending a ton of money. The benefit of crypto is that you can just pay as you go. So you can buy one GPU at a time. If you decide, hey, this is something for you, this is something you want to grow into, you can keep building out this rig from all the parts that I'm giving you here. Can you build it cheaper? Absolutely, you can. The Hobbyist Miner's got a video he just posted the other day for building a rig for less than $500. I think the video is great. For me, I don't like haggling. I don't like buying stuff from somebody off of Facebook or Marketplace or Craigslist. I don't like buying parts that I don't know anything about. The benefit of my video and the links and the direction I'm going is, if you have an issue with any of these parts, Amazon, Newegg, they're going to fix it. They're going to take care of it. Whereas if you're buying parts from somebody that's used and you can't figure out what the issue is, then you've got to buy more parts and you've lost money. Again, there's pros and cons. There's not a right or there's not a wrong. But this video, again, is geared towards that. If you found this video helpful, click a like, subscribe. If you want to watch me as I build out this rig, that will be another part series of this video, or video in this series. I'm going to be adding in there, installing the operating system, mining, how much money are you going to make with this, and kind of expand this out. So again, if you found it helpful, let me know. If you've been mining, how long have you been mining? What was your first build rig? How much did you spend for it? How long have you been doing it? Comment. Let me know. I would love some feedback. I've been doing this just over 3 months. I've definitely found that I have spent way more money than I ever thought I would. Not that the money is bad. It's just I thought I would be really, really slow. And instead I found that I have bought a lot of GPUs in a short amount of time. And I've learned so much in that amount of time. Again, if you found the video helpful, give it a like, give it a comment, let me know. You can see I've got some subscribers, and I would love to grow more. Again, this is not a sponsored video. There's nobody paying me money to tell you my opinion or my idea. All these parts I've paid for with my own money in full. So again, there's no change of hands. There's nothing that's been changed like that. Thanks again for watching an episode of I Tried Crypto. See you on the next one.